Okay, smooth here. Today I went into this interesting parallel between Sensonics and Dexcom and the difference between them. And I'm not gonna really endorse Sensonics. I'm not gonna downgrade it like some of these YouTube puppets who are doing it. But honestly, I mean, it's a stock that you're gonna have to hold for a while. You're not gonna expect this to shoot up overnight. Sensonics stock could rise 5 to 10 times over the next 5 years once it receives FDA approval. Sensonics and a nascent continuous glucose monitoring system is likely to follow a similar trajectory as Dexcom. Dexcom is a much larger company. Stock has risen over 21 times in the past 10 years, now landing at $388. It's brought to market the glucose monitoring products. As a result, Sens stock is likely to move up 5 to 10 times in the next 5 years, assuming it receives the FDA approval. It's tumbled recently, but now they've balanced out their cash sheet. $187 million in cash on its balance sheet after last year. And it relates to its 365-day sensor designed to be calibrated only once per week called the EverSense XL. The company is already collaborating with Essentia in Switzerland in marketing its 90 days and 180-day sensor throughout Europe. Last year, they burnt through about $65 million in negative free cash flow, based on its cash flow statement on page 90 of its recent 10-K filing. This implies that $187 million Sensonics now has the cash to last at least several years. In fact, they also seem to review it by early file the EverSense XL. So I think eventually, in a short term, I say maybe like $5 by the end of the year. I'm not going to go superficial because I know. I think it's one of those state things that recently that if you look by the end of like a couple of years, I've been burned this year, honestly. You thinking about how much I've been burnt? I could have had 15,000 on Hall of Fame, 9,000 on Zoomedica. I would not buy Zoomedica now. But when it had the momentum that it had, I sold off 2 days earlier. $9,000 right now, which we're making where I'm going on Friday. Lake Pleasant. Or at least where I'm going because I'm going several places. I'm going to Charleston this Friday, and I'm going to Florida a couple times later this year. But it's dependent on this. Last year, the company generated just $4.8 million in sales, down from $21 million in 2019. But now they expect it to more than double to $12.85 million in 2021. By next year, 22 revenue forecast is going to go up by over 6 times. At a market cap of $974 million, Sonic stock trades for 30 times forward revenue multiple. Consider this one of its main competitors. Dexcom now is a $35 billion market cap. And again, I'll evaluate Dexcom and see the parallels between them. Which that is interesting. That is, it's at $2 right now, but if it goes up to $400, we're going to tackle that in a little bit. As I pointed above, the stock has risen over 21 times, including 4.4 times in the past 21 years. They were originally the cloud-based diabetes monitoring system, so you don't have to use lancers to prick your fingers anymore for your blood sugar levels. So you gotta remember, you gotta keep your objective on this stock. It's not like one of those stocks that you're gonna expect to be. You set that patients like stock. Warren Buffett's quote on the man who's worth $106 billion now, and his quotes on patients. The stock market is like a device transferring money from the inpatient to the patient. So you need patience, discipline. Charlie Munger is right hand man, and the ability to take losses in adversity without going crazy, which you do. Because I remember I've had some time this year I made a lot of money, like $5,000 in 1 week, and I've also lost money. So anyway, going back to this, we're gonna go to the Seeking Alpha article. A potential multi-bagger from here. It's a free article. I'm going to go check out Dexcom. And Sonic shares are suddenly plunged on no news from recent highs, giving investors a good opportunity to buy into one of the most compelling growth stories in the market. The company aims to disrupt their CGM market in partnership with Essentia. Sensonics has the makings of a potential multi-bagger from here, and aggressive investors will be advised to initiate a position at the current levels. Stock price of that company has slightly dropped from a low of $5.56 a few weeks ago to a low of $1.90. We're sharply covering at the $253 level right now. It's at $212. It has the ability of being just a trash stock. Remember, you have to go research the technology about it. It has not only been publicly traded since 2015. It has 519 issued patents and pending patent applications related to their glucose monitoring system, and has marked through 648 million since its inception. Just to get to where we are. And tonight I'm gonna start talking about crypto, because I think that's even more of a money market play without you really having to and doing Bitcoin. Sensonics is a medical technology company that develops a unique implantable continuous glucose monitoring system. Its products include Eversense, which are implantable glucose monitoring systems to measure glucose levels with diabetes for a period between 90 and 180 days. The Eversense has FDA approval since 2018. A glucose monitoring system provides glucose measurements regularly and gives the user an alarm where sugar levels drop too high or too low. Eversense technology is unique as a long-term CGM fantasy system that can last 180 days, for 7 to 14 days from the competition. It's implantable under skin, works with a removable transmitter. It gives you freedom of movement, tracks your data. So remember, like, now it's going to make people with diabetes a lot easier. And they have a Essentia partnership with Essentia Diabetes. It's a dedicated diabetes company with a presence in 125 countries and 10 customers. Is the market leader in the blood glucose monitoring system market, based in Switzerland. I believe Essentia recognizes the enormous potential of this technology. It requires calibration twice a day. It can be done using a contour device to measure the glucose level and put the result in the Eversense device via an iPhone and Android phone. The company has a product pipeline next generation devices that will require increasingly less calibration. The Eversense XL will be approved by the end of the year, yeah. Technology has huge potential to disrupt the current glucose monitoring market. And you got three dominated: Dexcom, Abbott Labs, and Medtronic. And I'll go into focus on Dexcom before we leave this video. Which means they need insulin shots, and many even use insulin pumps so they cannot produce any insulin themselves. The number of people with diagnosed diabetes is 34.2, of which 1.6 million have type 1. And then type 1 is growing. So they expect this technology to be approved by the end of this quarter. Financials, really nothing to write home, as they carry NOL carry forwards of 5.15.24 million. But again, you got to look back and read Snowball. Look at all the companies that Warren Buffett was talking about that have been in history since the start of like time, and most of them are not really still into existence today. So again, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna have to do it as a long-term company. Looking at the financials, I know that it's not 10K, but it's just a click here upper. So even their recently history with the revenues and incomes does not look good. Again, you got to give it time for a small company to be profitable. They're not really gonna have a lot of information on them. Now we're going Dexcom. That's the interesting parallel in this video was with Dexcom. Is you get the 37.53 billion market cap. They're up to as much as $456. Say if you had if you had like 2,000 shares of this at the current price, with it, remember this is going to take a while for that to go up so much. So you bought 2,000 shares at the current price. It'd be like 4,240. Now if it went up to 456 times like 456. Well, remember it's gonna take a couple years for this to even hit like home. What did this do there? That was like the genius in me. Oh my god. It goes up to, oh my god, 460. Even my numbers ability is like manipulatively like. What's say going up that much and you had like 2,000 shares? You're looking at a $912,000 gain there. That's the interesting parallel. That's the interesting parallel right there. See, that's what Buffett was talking about with fortunes. They can sink or make you, and you got to realize that you're going to have to accept the loss or versatility or not. Next, we're going back to Dexcom. I'm going to wrap this up. And remember, I don't project this. I project it maybe like $5 at the end of the year, maybe. I'm not going to go with that. It might be like $50. If it's one of those stocks in 5 years, it's a higher risk. It could be $50. It could be $100. Depends on how they do, how they keep connected, how they dodge dance. But yeah, they are Dexcom is a company that develops, manufactures, and distributes continuous glucose monitoring systems for diabetes management. And it is operates internationally with headquarters in San Diego, California, as a manufacturing facility in Mesa, Arizona. And so we're going into numbers, and all the recent quarter numbers are excellent. The revenues up 22.93%, all the way down to their cash on hand. They have a lot of cash on hand. Every quarterly, the last 4 quarters, is excellent. Again, I'm wrapping this up with the Dexcom glucose thing. I don't expect it to be wrapped that high, because this company, Dexcom, has been around for 15 years, but the technology is there.